songs are slow and sad. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Welcome to the Sad Song Queens podcast, where we dive deep into the songs that make us cry. I'm Laura Webb.
And I'm Lindsay Wolfington. Today, we are talking with Matt Maeson about his song, Halfway to Whole. Matt Maeson is a multi-platinum singer-songwriter who transforms complicated feelings, uneasy thoughts, and self-doubt into powerful alternative anthems, anchored by relatable and raw emotion.
He released his first LP, Bank on the Funeral, in 2019, featuring the singles Cringe and Hallucinogenics, which both climbed to #1 on the alternative charts, making him the first ever male solo artist to log 2 #1 alternative hits from a full-length debut LP.
Since then, Matt released a second album, got married, moved from Austin to Nashville, and became a dad. He processes all of these pivotal changes out loud on his new third full-length album, A Quiet and Harmless Living, which includes today's song, Halfway to Whole. We're so excited to talk with Matt about Halfway to Whole and his new album. Matt admits it was very healing for him to write, and here at Sad Song Queens, we love an opportunity to dive deeper into the beautiful moments of vulnerability and self-healing.
So grab those tissues and let's get into it, because we all need a good cry. And now, Halfway to Whole by Matt Maeson.
There's that feeling I won't be here for long, 'cause there just ain't no fixing everything that's wrong. There's no going, no, there's no going home, 'cause home's been forgotten, for sometimes it's been alone. And my loved ones, they don't call me at all, but they say that they love me, so I tighten my jaw. And I fall back into the weeds. I don't think that it's selfish for me to be me. But my music, it don't heal me no more. It got twisted and mangled for some bills on the board. And my lover, well, I left her alone. I got lost in my purpose, then my purpose went cold. I'm a failure, I'm a fucking black hole. I bought into a liar, then my future got sold. Now I'm tired, thorns in my side. I don't wanna be here, I don't wanna die, but it's getting old. Oh, I'm getting old. Now I'm stuck on the shoulder and not even halfway to home.
Welcome, Matt, to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
What I've always loved about your music is how clear your voice is. Like, it's just like you get to really hear and experience every lyric, and it punches you in such a really honest way. And I've always really loved that about your music, and especially this song.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it feels like there's no holding back when you record this stuff. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, we tried, this record, we tried to like capture as much as we could. Like I felt like with my last couple records I did with my buddy James Flanagan, and I'm really proud of those records, but it's really hard. Like I do a lot of solo stuff, and I started out playing just guitar and vocals. And I just did a bunch of tours where I did that again, and it's really hard to translate the energy that comes out of that live into a produced format. And so with this record, I worked with my buddy Owen, and we just kind of just tried to make the whole album sound as live as we could. So we used 95% of what you hear is live musicians, in
Oh,
one
wow.
studio or another in Nashville. Some of the songs we captured just straight up like full band at once. Tried to encapsulate that live feeling as much as we could. That song, Halfway to Whole, the guitar and the vocal is just a one take all the way through, and then we built everything around that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can imagine the way it like starts and builds. And every time you listen to a song, you like find different things. Like last night I was listening and I was so focused on the lyrics, which is a lot of what I think Laura and I will talk about, what we feel the song is about. But just listening now, I was like, oh, and there's like saxophone. Like you have this kind of like late night Springsteen thing happening, and I'm curious with that intentional. Like, saxophone is not always included in music these days, right? So I'm a little curious about that choice.
Yeah, I think I just wanted that element. Like I wrote most of that song in a hotel bathroom in Boston at like 2 a.m.
That was one of my theories of like you had to be writing this on tour. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Started it on tour. I wrote the first verse and the chorus on tour, and then I got back and I was kind of messing around with it for weeks. And then my buddy Mikey Ferrari and his friend Will Wells came to town, and we just did a little session and ended up finishing the whole thing and writing that whole bridge in that session, and it all felt awesome. And then when we produced it, I don't know where the saxophone idea came in, because I know we were talking about using saxophone on something, and I can't remember if it was that first or another song. But that end bit, it just felt so jammy that we were like, okay, how do we make this feel like, I don't know, how do we make it sway the way it should? Because at first it was just guitar and vocals. And then we brought our friend Elliot in, who did all the sax on the album. There's other songs that have sax in it too. And he just rips. Like everything he does is so cool. And we did a few passes with him, and all those like little flutters and stuff just add so much to it.
So our theories. So I said, I think the song was written late at night when you're on tour and you're in a hotel room or something. So I just think you were having like a laundry list of that late night, like, regrets, thoughts, just kind of really down. Maybe that you couldn't talk to anyone because it was late at night, having regret about your family, questioning the career of music, that you're kind of not as enchanted with music where it's at, like commodification of art with some of those lines. Maybe even about the line about your family, like your loved ones. You just feel like it's hard to reach out when you're on the go, and that maybe even you're estranged from your family. I do really want to talk about the success or the things you were chasing maybe was success, but maybe that's not your purpose anymore, or just finding a healthier balance with that, I guess, is sort of what some of my thoughts were.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's all pretty true. Did you have some thoughts too?
Well, I was going to say most of mine was on kind of the second half of Laura's. This felt like a bad night out on the road where music's not doing it for you. You're away from home. The whole like halfway to whole is I'm not fully in the headspace for music. I'm not at home, so I'm not pulling my weight as father, husband, whatever. I know that I constantly feel the push-pull between being a parent and doing my job. Honestly, this morning was 8:30 a.m. dentist appointments and rushing back and get ready for a podcast, right? So like that, like quintessential, trying to do both and maybe not doing both as well as you'd like to.
Those are all pretty accurate. I think one thing about this record that's a little bit different from previous stuff is most of the lyrics are like pretty direct. There's not too much like nuance or metaphors going on in a lot of it, especially Everlasting and Halfway to Whole. Like each of those lines is pretty much about what it's about. I could go line by line, which is there's that feeling I won't be here for long. It's kind of a crossover of being very depressed, and also what I am in music and like who I'm trying to be in that. Of saying like, maybe this isn't what I want to do for the rest of my life because what it looks like now is not what I really want anymore. Um, and then moving forward to like the family line is a funny like this song as a whole is sort of just a thought vomit of all these different aspects of my life and how they've changed and how I feel about them now. And like the line about and my loved ones, they don't call me all at all, but they say that they love me. It's kind of like me thinking about how on one end, a lot of my family like wasn't calling me or hitting me up or anything because they're like, oh, he's busy. And they have the side of, oh, I can kind of see everything he's doing, right? On social media or like he's on TV or he's doing this. So they think they have this, idea of how I'm doing because it all looks good out there. And then my side of it, which is I am super busy, so I'm not reaching out to them. So then you find yourself in this like kind of weird place. And also like a lot of my music I write from experience, and a lot of it is like the process of healing is the writing of it. Since then, I've like developed much more meaningful relationships with certain family members of mine because of those kind of realizations.
Yeah, I mean, that's so hard to hear about that you don't think long for this earth like that. Yeah.
I know.
Like, I'm gonna give you a hug.
For sure.
I promise I'm doing okay.
No, we all have those thoughts, and like you really bare your soul and you lay it all out there, and I think that's really brave. And to even say those thoughts out loud, I don't think a lot of people do, and to put them in song is really brave, and I think people really can relate.
The way I eased into being publicly vulnerable with my music, it was very smooth. It wasn't like, this is my big brave moment. It was just like I started doing that. So I kind of like exercised that a lot. And then more and more, it became really important to me to admit those thoughts that I have in my music and to myself, or else they're not real enough for me to do anything about. And so writing has been really, really important. And this record specifically, a lot of the subjects that I talk about are like subjects that I was kind of like scared to write about because a lot of them can come off very selfish and ugly. But at the same time, I'm like, these are thoughts that I know that everybody has, and they kind of just don't normalize that they are real, even if they are selfish and ugly. If you can't put them out there, then how are you going to do anything about them?
I loved the line, it's getting old, I'm getting old. I love when there's kind of like a play on the same phrase, and it feels like it encapsulates maybe touring's getting old or music's getting old, and like you're getting older. So you're also having perspective on what you want for your life. I don't know, maybe you're feeling tired too, but maybe it's that kind of
Probably
old.
all
But
of it. Yeah.
but also like, right? Like you get to a certain point in your career and, or life period, and just realize your priorities may be changing, which you alluded to already.
Yeah, I mean, that's what that line is about for sure. Like I wrote that song in that bathroom in Boston after I was stuck there for 2 days. Like it was the last day of a short run of tour I was doing. I got stuck there for 2 more days because Delta's flights just kept like canceling over, and all flights were like getting canceled for some storm reason. I don't know. But I was stuck in Boston, and I was just having such a tough night. Like I don't remember the exact going ons, but like me and my wife were having like tour like trying to balance tour with marriage and fatherhood. It's just a hard thing. So when it's hard and you're on the road, it's really hard. And so I was just having a hard night, and I was just like trying to figure out like what to do just to like to distract myself and do whatever. So I had a few drinks, and then I went and tried to see Indiana Jones at like 11:30 p.m. And I was already like half drunk, and I was like, this movie kind of sucks and I can't pay attention. So I left like 30 minutes in. And I don't even know if it actually sucks, but I couldn't pay attention. I was just not into it. And then I went back to the hotel room and wrote that song in that kind of like, I don't know, very, very exhausted, like mentally exhausted state where I was just kind of like throwing these thoughts out of like, here's how I feel about this. Here's how I feel about this. And because of the key that it's in and the chords, like I'm able to kind of scream those thoughts out, which felt really, really good.
I was going to say it feels cathartic the way you belt it out.
Oh yeah, sorry to what you said. The reason for that line is because I was tired of being on tour and tired of music in general, and I'm 32 and I'm feeling that as well.
Just welcome to your 40s, Matt.
Yeah,
just
I
wait.
know.
Just
Oh my
wait.
God. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I feel like life on the road probably does age you. I can't imagine. And I think on the outside, people think it looks so glamorous, but hearing just how like tired and draining, and when we're younger, like success will feel like the golden pinnacle and it'll be amazing. And all those issues are still there. It's maybe not as glamorous, or it doesn't answer all the problems, right?
Yeah, I think too, like it's just so different once you have responsibilities outside of music. So it's like once I got married, got a house, had a kid, it just changes the entire landscape of that because it's like, okay, now I have to do this balancing act of being a present father, a good husband, a good homeowner, and be able to make a record and tour. And it just starts to become like a crushing amount of responsibilities. Whereas when I was 23, 24 and not a care in the world, touring was awesome. I was like,
Right.
let's just stay on the road. Yeah. But now it's much different. And so you have to have like different structure, and it does get really, really exhausting. Like when things are happening here, like my wife calls me and she's having a really hard day and I'm in, Tucson, Arizona. I'm like, can't do anything about it. Sorry. It's just
Can't help
it's
you.
a tough balance. Yeah.
I'd love to hear more about family life, being a father. Like, how has that affected you?
Well, now it's awesome. It took probably a good like 2.5 years to get that way. I didn't really like realize how much of a change it would be at first. And the first like 6 months after we had him was just like really, really tough. I didn't really know how much I would have to adjust like my priorities, and like for a long time I didn't realize that I was like prioritizing my music career and my family life like on the same level. Like I thought I was like putting them first, but there's all these little things where I didn't realize I was making these decisions that was actually putting this first, and that was causing just a lot of problems here, a lot of problems just like internally, where I'm just like always conflicted, always exhausted. I can't give anybody enough. Like I'm trying to do this thing, and this thing, and I'm not giving any of them enough. And so it was a tough like first 6 months, and then, started to get a little better as I started to realize these things. But I think it's all just kind of like natural growth that most people go through when they have a kid and have a family, but it just changes because you almost have to hit the pause button for 4 months, 5 months out of the year every time you leave on the road, because it's like you can't do it all at once.
Yeah, I also feel like that first year of life is just like so intense. The baby can't do anything without an adult, a parent. I just remember being like, oh my God, they don't know how to sleep right away. I mean, like eventually, but you kind of got to like rock them to sleep and soothe them to sleep, right? And then they learn to soothe themselves. Like just little things like that. I don't feel like you don't think about.
Dude, yeah, and yeah, my son was a terrible sleeper, and the only way he would go to sleep is if we bounced on a yoga ball with him.
Yes, we
So
have the
like
yoga
my
ball.
back,
Yep.
oh my God, my back was like, oh, it was horrible. It was terrible. We went through like 5 or 6 yoga balls because they would pop. It was brutal.
Did he like you to sing to him?
I don't remember. I think I would probably hum and stuff, but I don't think I was in the mood for singing.
Yeah, fair point. And I bet also being a musician is such a nighttime job, and being a parent is such a daytime job, and they still wake up, and you're
Dude,
like, I'm sure that's so challenging. And
oh my
that
God.
shift from tour to being at home, I'm sure is really challenging.
Definitely. There's like a period of like you have to kind of recalibrate like once you get back, cause tour, is like you get done with the show at 11:30 midnight, you're up till 2:30, you sleep until 10:30 every day, and then you get back and you're like, all right, I'm supposed to go to sleep at like 8 p.m. and wake up at 5:30 a.m. It's just a tough switch for sure.
And they don't understand dad was out at late at night. They're like,
Yeah, I don't
hey,
care.
what's
They're
going
like, we're
on?
playing right now. Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of touched on it, and I know that was kind of my theory behind the song, but is that where the title Halfway to Whole comes from?
Halfway to Whole kind of came from just being on the road, and just I don't know, realizing like all of these different things that I'm trying to give myself to, and not being enough for any of them kind of creates this feeling of like nothing is complete. And like I'm 32 years old now. Like I feel less complete than I did when I was 23 and 24 because all of these new aspects of life are here and I can't figure any of them out. That's kind of the main reason for that title.
Do you think you figured it out now?
No, but I'm definitely on the way. I turned a point, I don't know, maybe like 6 months ago or so, where like things just started to click a lot more. And I think a big part of that is I just made that real mental decision that like family is number one, music will always be second place, which is like, there's kind of like a feeling of like grief that comes along with that because there was a point where I was like, I want to be the biggest artist in the world and do these things. To do that, you have to be 100% on it and you got to tour for 8 months out of the year and you got to make, a record every year and you really got to have that time to do that. And so there was definitely like a part of letting go of that and being like, all right, well, I think it's more important for me to be satisfied in what I have in my family and then just see what happens with music, because at the end of the day, I'm still able to do it full time and pay my bills and take a vacation and have the time to spend with my family.
And that sounds really healthy.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like I was like slammed into it, but I feel like I'm doing pretty good now.
I feel like life kind of is like that, right? Like you will learn this lesson, right?
Yeah.
It's so true though. Like there was a huge shift for me identity-wise when I became a parent. I wasn't working for like the first 4.5 months of my daughter's life. And then I went back to work and definitely had this moment where I was like, oh, right. I'm this independent thinking person that doesn't just feed and rock babies and change diapers all day. I have this creative side to me and this business side to me. And making room for that was really important and not getting entirely lost in the motherhood side of it. But I think what you're talking about is a priority thing, which is so intelligent. If you know your priorities, when a question comes up, you know how to answer it because you can like check it against your values and your that priority that you've chosen to make.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think I have like it's kind of flipped on my end where it's like, I don't really have a choice I always have a choice, but like touring, making albums, whatever is always going to be there in one way or another. So I feel like I'll always have my identity in that and I'll be able to like go to that when my stuff over here is done,
Yeah, and I think also like that scarcity mentality in the creative field. I always was like, I have to say yes to everything because it might go away, right? I hope the phone keeps ringing. But also coming to that, I think we were forced into it with COVID and our strikes in our field and all that. But okay, the phone will ring. I need to be balanced and focus on things that fulfill me outside of the career part.
Yeah.
And I was forced to make that decision, but it's really healthy and really good because to be a better human showing up in the world, we need that balance.
Yeah, it was also like a weird internal argument for me because it was very much like that where it was the only purpose I ever had was in music.
Right.
So I poured myself into that wherever I could. And then this other purpose comes along and I have no choice in it. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're messing up this thing.
Right.
And then I have to realize, oh, this thing is actually more important than this thing. And then I have to, separate it. That's a tough thing to do because then you always feel like you're losing something when you say no to something.
Yeah.
Or like your career is taking a downturn because you're choosing to spend some more time over here, which is partially true. But I think I just had to realize that that's okay.
And like learning to say no to some things, like it'll be okay.
Yeah.
But never say no to a sync license. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think I ever have, actually.
But it's also a great way you can make money without having to be away from your family.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I've had a conversation with Jewel, and she said that once. She was like, yeah, I want to do more sync because I have kids and my priorities have changed. So I want to license my music more instead of having to be out on the road all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of, so I used your music in a show called Siren about naughty mermaids, and I used cringe for a mermaid makeout scene, and I have to laugh. I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, as you do. So I don't know if when you get to approve, I can't even imagine what you all were thinking for the scene description, but I was like, I have to say it all.
Dude, I don't remember that. I remember the name Sirens. I would have remembered if they were like, yeah, it's a mermaid makeout scene.
I wonder if the scene description even gets to you. Unless it's controversial.
Sometimes when I get sent them, it's right there, but they're probably there if I look for them. But usually I just see like amount of money, what show it is, what network it's on,
Yeah, you're
what
like,
kind of
cool.
show it is. I'm like, all right, yeah, cool.
I will try to find the scene somewhere and send it to you. But I mean, she was in human form, but it was a mermaid makeout scene. And then they talk about stem cell injections because she might want to be human, but it was a really saucy makeout scene. So
Well, I'm glad you thought of my song for that scene.
it's like, I'll see you in the water too, a little.
Oh, nice. Yeah, okay.
I mean, honestly, like sexy scenes can be really hard to find songs for. So I can see how you might bring that in your music.
Dude, you could have just Put It On Me. Put It On Me is on like literally hundreds of thousands of sex playlists.
Oh.
How do you
okay.
know they're
Yeah,
titled sex
Because
playlists?
I have yes, dude, it's
Oh.
insane. It is insane.
Do you get to know when you're added to playlists?
Yes, it is. It's like Spotify's analytics. You can see like every playlist that your song is on. Basically, I could just scroll forever and it's literally, let's see, it starts with songs I want to get fucked to, hot playlist, freaky playlist, sex playlist, aggressively make out, pole dance, exotic contemporary, sensual pole dance, horny mood.
Pole dance. Interesting.
Point of view, you're ovulating.
Oh my God.
Insane, dude.
I love
It's
that someone
crazy.
has that playlist number one point of
Dude,
view.
it's-
You're on.
It's wild. It is wild. And I'm not joking. It is on 152,000 playlists. And I would say that like 80% of them are like sex playlists.
Are these also
Oh.
like individual user playlists? Like if we're going to put you on the Sad Song Queens playlist because we put every song we talked about. So if if Lindsay Wolfington put it on her playlist, you would be able to see that?
I'll be able to see it. It's hard to sift through because it goes by amount of plays you're getting from that playlist.
Okay.
So it'll show your top playlist down.
Wait, so songs I want to get fucked to is the most like biggest plays?
Apparently.
Oh my God.
A big one. It's a big one.
By the way, so I pulled up tunefind.com. Put It On Me has been used in a few shows. I used it on Virgin River, but it was actually in like Jack was getting out his anger. So he was like tearing down a wall. But yeah.
Jeez, so you guys did like all of my syncs.
Yeah, it looks like about
Royals,
30%.
Virgin River, Sirens. Is there anything else?
Lindsay knows because we used to share an office, and I was like speaking your name to everyone. Like, people are like, what are you listening to? I'm like, Matt Maeson, he's going to be huge. So I was so excited. Like, and we always try to pitch. It doesn't always land, but like when we're obsessed with someone, we usually will try to always pitch them. But I was just excited for you as a fan to like see you explode because I was telling everyone, I'm like, he's going to be big. Just trust me. So,
Well, I appreciate that. And I really appreciate the Sirens.
oh, yeah, yeah.
So we read that your parents were in a Christian metal band. I wonder how you feel about all these sex playlists.
I mean, I had no say over the sex playlist thing. It's a song about religion.
Put It On Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. My parents' heavy metal bands were sick. They had two Christian heavy
Okay.
metal bands. One was called Neverthirst, and the other one was called Holy Warfare. And they were both
Amazing.
thick. Like, I actually go back and listen to those, and I'm like, this is unironically dope. It's like very Metallica kind of.
Can they be on your imprint and release it maybe?
Or maybe they can open for you on tour.
I think that ship has sailed.
Oh,
They
man.
do.
Okay.
My mom and my dad have a little project together called The Plunders now, which is much more like bluesy, kind of Americana stuff. But they still play a lot because they still have a prison ministry where they play like in prisons, like 4 months out of the year or something like that.
And you also did that.
Mhm.
Like, I feel you are such a good live musician, and it comes across in how you record too. Like, there's no artifice, it's really pure. Do you think all that time performing I'm sure it really honed your performing skills, I have to think, right? What did you learn from all that?
Definitely. I mean, I did a lot of shows at them, and all of them were just acoustic and original songs. And so I think just repetition, obviously, like just playing live for people so much. But then also, like, I just got a really fortunate look into the effect that music can really have on people. Because when you go into a place that's that dark and kind of hopeless, and you bring any sense of like, here's something for you, you just see the effect that it has on people. And like, I was playing these songs of mine and seeing people cry to them, like grown men in jail that are supposed to be these scary tough guys, and I'm like, whoa, that's insane. And that's what really kind of sparked the like, I want to do this, for everybody, the best that I can. So just kept doing that for a long time and then playing any gigs that I could get. And I think through just doing it so much and then also really caring about what I'm singing, like I never did any covers really. I never did any kind of that performing. It was always out of like very purpose driven writing. And so I think that's what kind of got me to the place that I am now, where when I do perform, it isn't like for the performance sake. It's because I'm really trying to like say something that I need to.
They probably really needed to hear that too, like some of these really emotionally moments that really connect. Have you seen the movie Sing Sing?
I didn't watch it, but I wanted to.
It's really beautiful and about how like art and I mean with them it's like acting, but still just how art gives you hope and in a really hopeless place. And just seeing all these men be emotionally vulnerable with each other, where I don't really think that they are, societally given as many opportunities to be. It's really beautiful. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I got to check that out.
Do your parents still have this ministry that go into prisons?
Yeah, they still do it full
Wow.
time. They have a nonprofit called Life on the Verge, and they are doing, I think, another tour this year. They kind of split their time between doing like prison tours. They do a lot of work in Florida and Virginia, and then sprinkled around other places too. But they'll do like tours, and then they'll have a period of time where they go and play different bars and stuff as their band to try and raise money for it, or play like different churches and stuff like that to try and raise money to like go on these tours and bring people that can help either play in the band or load in and load out, because it's a lot for sure.
Did you notice any particular song of yours that impacted the crowd?
I think the only song that I played in a prison that I have out under my name is Legacy. This is up to 2014. Nobody knew who I was at that point. So like the only song that was that, and Feel Good. I think I wrote Feel Good when I was still playing in those.
Going back to Halfway to Whole for 1 second, you have this lyric, bought into a liar and future got sold. Is this like a label thing?
That is specifically in reference to my second record, which again, like there's aspects of it that I'm really proud of and really proud of some of the writing on it too. But it was a classic case of like first record was very genuine, wrote it on myself. We put it out, does super well. And then the label's like, okay, now let us in on this. And I think I was just so green at the time that I was just trusting, well, if they're saying to do something, then that means they're really going to like push this and like it's going to be really successful. So I might as well like do this or compromise here or write things in this way or work with these writers. And I did a lot of that on that record, and that record didn't do super well for a lot of reasons. I think number one, my heart wasn't fully in it. Number two, I just had a baby and I wasn't able to promote it like the way that I wanted to, but also like label did not help with it. It kind of just went pretty like unheard, and I kind of had to sit with that. And through that time was when I was really like reevaluating like, okay, what am I doing this for anymore? Right? Because I started this because I saw the impact that my music had on people, and money or success did not have anything to do with it. Now it has so much to do with it. And when did that happen, and how do I adjust? Like if I'm gonna do this for money and fame and whatever else, then I might as well go full in for that. Or I have to say no to all of that and be like, no, I have to like put the integrity of the music first. So that's kind of what that line is about, is both the label and the industry in general, which is filled with a lot of like manipulation. Like even your favorite artists are guilty of it, even if they don't know it, big artists. And then me like compromising and buying into my own lies of like, oh, no, I'll go against what my gut reaction is to this, because if I compromise and go the label's way, then it's going to be more successful, which was a lie that I told myself.
Right. So sometimes it's that like, well, they know what they're talking about. Who am I, right?
And that's what I mean, where like I was so green to everything that looking back now, I'm like, dude, what if like it was just so all of that stuff was so see-through to me, and like that wasn't gonna lead anywhere. Like it's kind of like sacrificing what my career was built off of and thinking it's gonna do better. Like,
and then this album, you kind of return to your truth and saying what you want to say in your music.
Yeah, definitely. Like took a long time for this record, and I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying this, but Atlantic had a lot of like layoffs and shakeups, and no one is there. There's one person there from when I signed with them, so everyone else is
Oh,
just new
wow.
people. And when that whole shakeup was happening, the main guy that came on called me and was like, we had a long conversation. He was like, basically, look, if you don't want to do another record with us, we're not going to force you to. Like, we can cut ties and whatever else. He was like, but if you do, we love your music and we'll let you take your time or do whatever. And I was like, if you guys just leave me alone to make a record in my own time the way I want to, no notes. I don't want any notes from you guys. Then yeah, let's do it. And that's what happened. They did. It took me 3 years to make it, and I wrote at the speed that I could, which was really nice because I was going through a lot of life changes, and the way that I write, it takes a lot of time to process those things and then be able to write about them. And I feel really, really good about what came out of it. It just feels like something that's like all me through and through, not just the writing, but the production side of it too. Like I was able to like get what I wanted across because of the way that we made it, like with so many live instruments. And I was able to like direct different players and like, no, I played this part this way. And yeah, I'm like super proud of it.
That's amazing.
It really is a great album. Laura and I were both like, oh, new Matt Maeson. And then we're like, oh, new Matt Maeson. It's
We're
so
like, and
good.
this song, and this song. Oh, this one's great to talk about. And we have a healthy debate to decide which song. And we were torn because Everlasting is beautiful. And I was listening this morning on my walk, and it's such a almost lullaby, or it just is this really, it's calming but sad. I think.
It's devastating at the same time.
Yeah.
I do feel like sometimes, when we're thinking about sad songs, like piano songs tend to be like more typically sad. When I was listening, I was texting Laura and I was like, oh my God, Halfway to Whole. And then I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, oh my God, All My Wars. Because we got an advance. So we've heard like all the tracks. But I was like, so then when we were coming to this, I was like, but All My Wars. And Laura was
I
like,
know.
Halfway to Whole. And then I was like, but what about Everlasting? Like, it was
I
one of those
know.
I
conversations.
mean, that's
where we were like,
that's a great sign. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
No, I
for
mean,
sure.
the whole album's really solid too. It's a really rich album to really consume in a way that I don't feel like modern music's necessarily always like that.
Yeah.
I think Halfway to Whole, we were like, I feel there's a lot to talk about with you in that. We have to still bring up Everlasting too. And that's, again, such an emotionally vulnerable song. And to put it out there, I have to imagine a lot of parents have had that thought where you're just like, I'm so tired. But to say that is really brave.
Yeah, I think I was talking to, I don't know, a buddy of mine after writing it before we released it, and just about the context, because it was like, I mean, that was a really hard song to write. Like when I started writing it, I was just kind of crying through the whole thing because because it was always, it's like it took that music, that progression for me to even formulate into words like those feelings that I was having, because they were so foreign to me, and they're also like, that's what I was talking about, where it's like you have these extremely selfish and ugly thoughts, but that doesn't like invalidate them or not make them real. And when I was going through all of that stuff, it's like in every period of my life, I've had music that I could go to that could relate to that situation lyrically and make me, feel a little bit understood, or like someone's gone through this and that. And in the position I was in, for the last couple of years, I couldn't find anything that I felt like was being truly honest about the ugly sides of being a new father and being in a marriage, and also trying to do this music career thing and feeling like you're not giving enough to anyone, and like these feelings of like, well, I could just leave. I could just like, what's keeping me from just leaving and being happy, right? Like maybe that'll make me happy, or all of these different thoughts that I felt like no one was really saying, and which can make you feel like, oh, am I the only one feeling this way? Which can make you feel even more guilty. So being able to like put that into words with that music was like really, really important to me to heal those things and like really figure out, again, what my priorities actually were and how important my wife and my son and my family are to me.
So do you feel writing that was basically therapeutic for you?
Very, yeah. I mean, all my music is very therapeutic for me. Like I said, it's like I kind of have to go through the stuff and then process it, and then I can write about it. And usually by the time I write about it is the time where I'm like actually starting to heal from it and be able to really put it into words.
How did your wife respond when she heard it?
I mean, obviously it's a tough
Yeah.
lesson.
Yeah.
But she loved it. I think we're very honest with each other, and we've also been like couples therapy for a few years, and You know, we definitely are really trying for each other, and I think that that's one way that I try too. It's just being really honest
Yeah.
about these thoughts, and those are thoughts that I wasn't able to really be honest about until making that song because I couldn't figure out what those feelings actually were or how I felt. And so I think it was like really good for her to hear that, to actually be able to put what I'm thinking into words for her to hear.
Right.
So interesting. Do you think, looking at like a therapist lens, they say identifying the feelings is like kind of like step one, and just putting a name to it can be really helpful? For you, is it like strumming the guitar that brings you to that internal place where you can recognize that? Or what do you think it is about the writing process that helps you identify what you're feeling?
I think it's just the music being able to kind of be a vessel to get those feelings out. So when I play that everlasting riff, even if I don't sing anything, there's this like very somber lullaby-ish, but like sad lullaby-ish feeling that comes out. And so when I hear that and feel that, I'm able to put these words that match that feeling to it. I can play one thing on guitar that's going to make me think of this other aspect of my life. Whereas when I play something really gentle like that, it's going to make me think about this. So a lot of the music that I wrote on this record started with little riffs, Halfway to Whole started with that guitar riff, and Everlasting started with that arpeggiating, like lullaby-ish piano thing.
Do you write usually with your guitar or piano, or just depends?
This record was like primarily piano. Usually it's guitar, but since learning piano, like I started learning piano in 2021 and kind of just got obsessed with it. So I think all but 3 songs on this record were written on piano.
I also love hearing that you're like, oh, 5 years ago, I just began playing an instrument, and now I'm full on making music with it that like pays the bills.
Well,
And
what's
is a
funny
great
about that
record.
is
Yeah.
I learned instruments in the dumbest way possible. Like I learned guitar by kind of just like no music theory whatsoever. Just kind of like when I put my finger here, it makes this noise, that kind of thing. So now when I go in rooms of people that are like really well versed, they're like, all right, we're doing this measure in the key of D. I'm like, cool, what? Yeah.
You can't be alone. Like it's
Yeah.
I did the same thing on piano. Like I shouldn't have repeated that, but I did the same
No, it's
thing. Where
okay.
like if you were to ask me the chords to Everlasting, I cannot tell you.
Well, you clearly have this instinctual, and I'm sure from growing up in a musical household that you just have this ear for it, clearly.
I mean, it's
Like,
put my finger here, it makes this noise, and just keep adding on
what
to
sounds
that.
pretty, right?
Yeah.
that's a whole way of learning. Is it the Suzuki method, where you learn by like repeating and hearing something? It is funny though. So like when you like, don't you like tune between songs so that you can be in different
He's like,
keys
no,
or
that's
whatever?
what I
Do you
have
know?
people for. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Well,
like
I'm
do you
not
know
like
what you're tuning towards?
I'm not like entirely out of the mix. Like on guitar, I know a lot more. I'm not like super well versed. And on piano primarily is where I'm like really the most like ignorant to any kind of music theory. I know different chord keys, progressions, and can call those, name those chords. But then when it gets
Sure.
into like, I know like Everlasting is on like D sharp major, I think. But the chords in that song, I have no idea what they are. Like they're just tricky. Once you get into white and black key territory, I'm like,
We're
I don't
mixing
know.
it up, and we're so excited for the rest of the world to hear this album. It's so
I know.
beautiful. Although
Yeah.
I
Me
do have
too.
to say,
Been
like
sitting
Laura
on
and I
it.
were also like, we listened to it. We emailed or like our rep at your label, our sync person. We're like,
Emma
is,
Duddridge.
is Matt okay? Like, can we talk to him?
Dude,
Like, he seems like
that's
he's going through a lot.
gets in the way. That's something that also I think gets in the way of my music, like people recommending my music to other people, because it's like you throw honestly any song on this record on the aux with people in the car, they're gonna be like, "Are you good?" Like, 'cause emotional and sad.
But that's like our love language. Like I worked on a TV show called One Tree Hill, and I made them a mix at one point. I made my producers a mix, and they were like, "Are you okay? Like there are a lot of sad songs on this mix." And I'm like, "Yeah, they're like they're because they're amazing, duh." Like not because of my mood, just because they're like the best songs ever.
Yeah.
But-
Like even before Jeff Buckley in high school was really pivotal. I understand he's pivotal for you too. But like I would just send that to people because I didn't have the relationship to draw on it. But my friends going through a breakup, I was like, here's the song for you. Like that's my love language.
Speaking of, What are some of your favorite sad songs? Have you ever sent a sad song to a friend with purpose?
I don't think I've sent a sad song to a friend like, "Oh, you're going through this, so I'll send you this song." I think people have done that to me before, but the first one I wrote down ironically has no lyrics. It's called Figure Piano by Sigur Rós. You ever heard that?
Oh, well,
Oh,
Yeah, it's such a good song. And similar to Everlasting, like there's the piano in it. It's all piano song. It just like puts you in this very like contemplative place that's like sad and hopeful at the same time and can kind of just make you think of all different things. It's like I just got so obsessed with it. And then there was a music video they did for it with like it had Shia LaBeouf and somebody else in it, and it was directed by the girl that did American Honey. I don't know if you guys saw that movie. And it's just such a beautiful video that like makes the song even more powerful to me. So that's definitely one really big one that I love. Anything by Adrian Lankard. You guys heard that song?
she comes up often
Yeah.
on this podcast.
Like unbelievable writer.
I think she's known to record in the 432 hertz, which has come up. You know, it's like supposed to be
Is that true?
yeah. Apparently, she's like a big proponent of it.
The frequency of the
Oh.
universe.
Yeah, maybe that's why it feels so good.
Great song, great album. That whole solo album is so beautiful. Peter by Bad Books. You guys ever heard
I
that?
don't know that one.
Is Bad Books like someone else's side project or something? Wait,
Yeah, it's Andy from Manchester Orchestra
okay, thank you.
and Kevin Devine
Okay.
have a side project called Bad Books. And there's a song called Peter on one of them, and it's just a brilliantly like written song. It's basically about this guy Peter the Great. It's a true story. Who I think it took place in Russia. Basically, like this Caesar or king or whatever had a wife, and the wife was having an affair with this guy William, and he found out about it and had his head cut off and put into a jar and put into the lobby of their castle so that she had to look at him every day. And Andy and then wrote a song where it's like first verse is from the perspective of the girl and the guy she's having an affair with. Second verse is from the perspective of Peter, and the third verse is from the perspective of the head in the lobby having to see her every day. It's just a crazy
Oh,
like beautifully
wow.
written song. Super super sad, but really good.
That sounds amazing. I love a story song.
And I heard in doing some research that you're a big Manchester Orchestra, Andy Hull fan.
Yeah, I've always been a massive fan of them. That's example of it at a time in my life when I really needed writing to relate to. I found them when I was like 17, and I'm a pastor's
Mhm.
kid. He's a
Mhm.
pastor's kid, so the writing in it was just so like I was just like no one else has written these things that I'm feeling, because it's like being a pastor's kid, there's a really unique set of life stuff that happens. So hearing somebody else write about that stuff, I was just like I became obsessed with it, and I like rinsed his catalog all the way through. Like he has 2 side projects and then Manchester, and so I just like got so obsessed with it. And now we're really good friends, which is extremely weird to me, but
That's
awesome.
so cool. On the last album or this album, you guys did a song together, right?
This album has a feature from them on it, and then I did a side project called Weezer that also had a feature from them on it.
Their song, The Maze, the Manchester Orchestra song, The Maze, I like love.
That's so good.
It's very hopeful. It feels sad, but it's like hopeful and loving. And yeah.
That one gets synced on a lot of stuff.
I used it on a Christmas movie.
That's what I saw it on. That was like randomly on in my house. It was like a Hallmark movie, right?
Yes, but I think it ended up on Freeform. So you must have watched
Oh.
it right after the siren makeout scene. I'm sure it was about the same time.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's really funny. That's funny that you saw that.
I know, I love that though.
I know.
But it's so it
It's
like
just, like,
builds
on.
and builds. It's like epic, you know?
It was either on in my house at random, or it was just on in a hotel room. Like, you turn the TV on in the
Yeah.
hotel room, it's just on. I remember
Oh, yeah.
texting him, being like, "What the fuck? What is this? This is so random." Like, I walked into this, and it's just a Christmas movie with your song playing.
No sleep
what-
till Christmas. That's what that movie was.
Lastly, I guess, was there any something you watched that really like where you discovered a song maybe?
First one I can remember where I just really loved a song when I heard it on a show was Truth by Alexander on Breaking Bad.
Oh.
Alexander, he's the guy from Edward Sharp and the Magnetic Zeros, but he
Yeah.
had a solo project that's awesome. That song's still sick. It still holds up. It's such a cool song. What was I watching? I was watching Barry, and there was a song from It's Rostam from Vampire Weekend made it. Hamilton Lifehouser.
Oh, Lighthouse.
Yeah, from the Walkman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did a record with Rostam, and it's so good. I think the song that was in Barry was called When the Truth Is, but the whole album is like, I got so obsessed with it. It's so cool.
Some people have asked us to do Hamilton.
Dude, yeah, check out that record. That record is so cool. Still holds up.
There was a showcase on Monday, but I went to Oasis both nights here in LA. Britpop is like, you know, I think that age of 16, 17, how you were saying when you discovered Manchester Orchestra, it's like the Britpop for me, that was my high school era. So it was like, I had to go. And it was really nice. Like, you know, rock's kind of having a crisis right now.
Yes.
I feel like. So it was just good to hear good rock and roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would consider you a rocker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you consider
dude.
yourself a
Yeah.
rocker?
Thanks.
Right? I think you're rock
Thanks.
and roll.
I like, yeah, I actually struggle with that because I'm just like, I want to write so much heavier shit because I just want to play it live. Like, I can't wait to play a good start from the record live because it's
Yeah.
just so heavy. But I end up writing all these like slower, sad songs. Another thing that annoys me that I'm like going into this tour trying to figure out the set list and stuff is I'm just like, why did I write every single song so hard to sing? Like every song is so high up. Like Downstairs is like, it's just so long. And like the first set list that my buddy put together that's like MDing it, sent it to me, and I was like, brother, I'm are you trying to kill me? Like, it's like 5 songs that have these like super high courses in a row, and I'm just like,
You're like, I'm not going to last 2 nights.
yeah, we gotta water this down with a slow one, man.
I think that's something that like you forget to think about. I sang with the parent-teacher band at my kid's school, and we then decided
It's totally the same, right, Matt?
Right? Yeah, just like you. No, but we
Yeah.
played the fundraiser, and there were 3 different singers, but I got all the belty like pop rock songs. That was kind of like my thing, and because I also don't sing that regularly, like I lost my voice pretty quickly. But like you're definitely thinking about the set list, and then you go to like I love all the behind the scenes thought that goes into putting a set together. So it's fun to hear you say that.
We are gonna have my buddies that are playing two of them sing, so at least we'll have a lot of like the background vocals there, which will be nice to help me like give me a little more oomph.
And then there's the songs where you just give it to the crowd. Like Oasis did that. They're like, you're singing Don't Look Back in Anger or Wonderwall. I'll come in for the last word.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Matt, for being here. And we loved getting to talk to you and talking about real honest emotions. And we love that in your songwriting. And we're so excited for your new album.
Thank you. Yeah. Super happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me on.
Thank you for joining us today on Sad Song Queens, because you always need a good cry. We will link these songs in our show page as well as our Spotify playlist. Be sure to check it out because all the songs that we discussed today are in the Sad Song Queens Spotify playlist, as well as other artists and their sad songs. Please also be sure to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you find podcasts.
Huge thanks to Matt Maeson, Mikey Ferrari, and William Guild, our friends at Q Prime, Conrad Brambilla, Aaron Frank, Hannah Davis, BMG, Emma Dudridge, and Atlantic Records. Special production thanks to Stephanie Gangle, Emily Cartham, Jordan Lindsley, Eugenia Coe, Rob Carter, and our producer, May Rogers. Our theme song is All My Favorite Songs by Weezer, and our outro music is by Wyatt Rouse.